So verse 5, I think, verse 5. So first I will read this and then I will explain meanings. Aggregates exist but are not permanent. They do not have the nature of the selfhood. A permanent and impermanent cannot exist as the support and supported. Number 6, if the so-called self does not exist, how can the so-called agent be permanent? If there were things, then one could investigate their attributes in the world. Since permanent cannot function to cause in gradual or instantaneous terms, so both without and within, no such permanent entity exists. If it were potent, why would it be dependent? For it would bring forth everything at once. That which depends upon something else is neither eternal nor potent. Do you understand all this? Papa needs close. If it were, can you hear me? Yeah. Maybe I have to repeat again. Maybe did you hear before? Maybe I will repeat again. Okay. Aggregates exist but are not permanent. So aggregates, we have 5 aggregates. Aggregates of form, feeling, karmic formation, and consciousness, and recognition. So aggregates. So aggregates are not permanent, because aggregates is changing momentarily. Aggregate change, feeling change, recognition change, consciousness is momentarily changing. So the aggregates are not permanent. They do not have the nature of selfhood. So aggregate does not exist existing from the side of the object or independently, or depends on other factors. A permanent and impermanent cannot go together, right? Permanent and impermanence oppose each other. Like grasping mind, wisdom realizing emptiness cannot go together because oppose each other. So permanent and impermanent cannot go together, but we should not confuse about when we talk about impermanence, right? Impermanence, so like this book is impermanent, but book have many attributes, right? Emptiness is attribute of the book, right? Book empty is attribute of the book, but it's permanent, right? So you should not confuse about it, but it's book is the base, and emptiness, impermanence, functioning, all attributes, base attributes. So book empty is permanent. It, so we should not confuse about permanent, impermanent cannot go together. But when we talk about book empty is permanent, right? But it does not mean oppose each other. Oppose each other means don't like each other, Then you have to dispel. So grasping dispel the wisdom mind because they don't like each other. Like enemy and friend cannot go together. You know what I mean? Enemy and friend go together. So this is the talk of exist as the support and the supported. If the so-called self does not exist, how can so-called agent be permanent? So this is the non-Buddhist talking about. They believe self is permanent. Some non-Buddhist, the self is permanent. So that's what talking about other school. If there were things, then one could invent the attributes in the world. Such permanent cannot function to cause, right? Permanent is no product, so it cannot function, right? Permanent is always there. Impermanence is temporary, sometimes there, sometimes absent. So that in gradual or instantaneous term, so both without and within no such permanent entity exists. If it were potent, why would it be dependent? For it will bring forth everything at one, that which depend upon something else is neither eternal nor potent. If it were an entity, it will not be permanent. For entity are always momentary, in which respect to the impermanent entity, agency has not been negated. So here, when we talk about one base impermanent, right? One base impermanent, like maybe take the example of the seed, sprout, and fruit result. 3. Seed, then sprout is the nature of the seed, and then that will bring you fruit result. So all the impermanent phenomena must have these three qualities, right? Seed, what we call must have three nature, or the three different types of emptiness. Seed, empty, right? Seed. So the seed is the cause, right? Cause. So that is called the emptiness of the signlessness. Right? Sprout is nature emptiness. Seed, and result fruit is wishlessness. So all the impermanent phenomena must have three types of emptiness, which is three door to liberation. Namdar Gosum, Tibetan. Namtar Gosum. Namtar Gosum means three door to liberation. So when we realize emptiness of cause, emptiness of the result, its nature, no grasping, because we are grasping, because we do not understand the three nature of the impermanence. Entity, wishlessness, signlessness. Cause is sign. Everyone doing something, business people doing something, they wish they can get profit. profit is wish, their wish. So they're working very hard to make money. So making money is like cool. And their wish is, I can make profit. So wish means wishlessness is emptiness of the result, or the fruit. Signlessness, sign is cause. So show you sign. Sign it like we can say like we see the mountain, right? And we see the smoke there. Oh, you will pick up, there is fire, there is smoke. Sign. Sign is cause. So that means all the all the impermanence phenomena must have these three different types of emptiness: nature, wishlessness, and signlessness. Namdarkosam. So when we understand these three, we will liberate from the samsara. We have no attachment to the cause, no attachment to the result, no attachment to the entity, which is like seed, sprout, and the result. So every impermanence phenomena, you can think about these three different types of emptiness, three doors to liberation. Okay, now here I want to we are discussing about the definition of the bodhicitta mind. So it's very important to understand. Okay, we can, if we go deeper, then we know what is really bodhicitta mind is. Right. So bodhicitta mind is the general mind. Remember, is the wish for perfect, complete enlightenment for the benefit of others. That is the definition of bodhicitta mind. Okay, this is in the ornament of clear realization. Okay, just as in the sutra, the one and the other are explained briefly and extensively. So, Semkyepa Shindoji Yandadobe Changyudos in Tibetan. So that translation is just Teda Tenin Doshindu Duida Gebe Bonejo. So that means just as in the sutra, the one and the others are explained briefly and extensively. So this is sutra, what we are talking about. 3 perfection wisdom sutra. We call the Boom 12 volume 100 perfection of wisdom sutra. Niti. Niti means 20,000 perfection of wisdom sutra. Ketongpa means 8,000 perfection of wisdom sutra. 8,000 perfection of wisdom sutra and 20,000 perfection of wisdom sutra mentioned about bodhicitta briefly. We go Boom, Niti, Ketongpa. Tibetan, every Tibetan have put this keeping in their, they don't understand, but they can keep like 12 volume Boom, 3 volume 20,000 perfection wisdom sutra, and 1 volume 8,000. So 8,000 perfection wisdom sutra and 20,000 perfection wisdom sutra mentioned about bodhicitta briefly. Now 100,000 perfection of wisdom sutra mentioned about bodhicitta very extensively. So that's the meaning. Briefly and extensively, 3 sutra, 8,000, 20,000, 100,000 sutra. So 8,000 perfection of wisdom sutra, 1 volume. 20,000 perfection of wisdom sutra Niti, 3 volume. And 100,000 perfection of wisdom sutra, 12 volume. Altogether 16 volume. You understand what I'm saying? So that's in this 100,000 perfection of Western Sutra mention about bodhicitta very extensively. Okay. So now, extensively means now bodhicitta, we know the definition of bodhicitta, right? Right? Now bodhicitta, first quality is bodhicitta is very special, number one. Number two, bodhicitta is mental mind. Number three, bodhicitta is mental mind. Right? Bodhicitta is mental mind as opposed to sensory mind. Sensory mind and man mind opposed to mental factor. Okay. Number three, of the two sense and mental fact, okay, opposed to, so okay, mental factor of the two sense and mental consciousness. Bodhicitta is mental mind because it is cultivated, it depends on meditation. It doesn't come from the natural. Through meditation, learning, thinking, meditation, then bodhicitta developed. Therefore, it is mental mind, not sensory mind. Sensory mind, no. Man mind, mental mind. Bodhicitta is enter way to the Mayana path. Now, if you have no bodhicitta, you are not Mayanist. You know what I mean? Even very learned Hinayana, Arya, for destroyer, solitary relator, they have incredible knowledge. So they completely subside the delusions, but they are not Mayanist because they have no bodhicitta. So it is a gateway to enter the Mayana path. Number one is accumulation. Then move to the preparation. Then, so these two paths, accumulation and preparation, is ordinary bodhicitta path. Path of seeing, path of meditation, path of more learning is Arya bodhicitta mind. Arya, four types of Arya. Hinayana Arya, hearer Arya, solitary relator Arya, Bodhisattva Arya, and Buddha Arya. Four types of Arya. Okay. So this is the gateway to into the Mayana path. Bodhicitta is can comedent with assistance, aspiration, because as assistance is aspiration. Aspiration for oneself, aspiration for other. Oneself, complete enlightenment. Aspirations for other, main course is 6 course result, bodhicitta mind, exchanging oneself to other, 2 types of bodhicitta lineage. You understand what I'm saying? Bodhicitta, assistant with 2 aspirations, aspirations for one and other. And one's aspiration is complete enlightenment, your future Buddha. Right? To achieve this complete enlightenment, aspirations for other is 2 main course. 6 course, effect bodhicitta mind, exchanging oneself to other. Remember, 2 types of lineage bodhicitta coming. Exchanging oneself to other, equalizing, thinking many disadvantage of the self, thinking, giving and taking message. These 2 types of bodhicitta is main course to achieve enlightenment, aspiration to others. So that's so that now we have this one. Remember last time? So man it associate or can combine with different functions, mental factors. Therefore, in addition of being can combine with 5 omnipresent mental factors. Remember last time I'm talking about man, mind and mental factor go together simultaneously. Aspirations is mental factor. Bodhicitta is man, mind, primary mind. Man, mind, primary mind and mental factor. Remember 5 nature last time should go together. So that is, therefore, in addition to come in 5 omnipresent mental factor, thought, feeling, recognition, perception, contact, and attention go together. There's the bodhicitta. It is can combine mental factor of the aspirations, focus on the complete enlightenment for the benefit of others, because its main objective is enlightenment of Buddha, which it strives to attain in order to be of the utmost benefit to all sentient beings. Now, bodhicitta, whenever you say about bodhicitta, it means it should go with 2 aspirations, oneself and other. So, bodhicitta is not mental factor. Bodhicitta is man, mind, aspiration is mental factor. These 2 share together, go together, simultaneous. Okay, so that's the bodhicitta mind. Now remember last time we have different types of bodhicitta. You understand the definition of bodhicitta mind? Right? Now we have last time wishing bodhicitta mind, engaging bodhicitta mind, conventional bodhicitta mind, ultimate bodhicitta mind of ripening, remember, aspire bodhicitta mind, purity bodhicitta mind, extraordinary bodhicitta mind, and completely pure bodhicitta mind, different types. From point of generating bodhicitta like shepherd, like fairy, like king. Very different types of bodhicitta mind, right? So now here, conventional bodhicitta mind. So you remember, this is what I'm talking about. Extensively explaining bodhicitta mind, extensively. So all these details, right? Different types. Now, conventional bodhicitta mind, right? And ultimate bodhicitta mind. So the conventional bodhicitta mind is mental consciousness. Number 1, conventional bodhicitta mind is mental consciousness or man mind, primary mind. Number 2, typical of the method paths. Conventional bodhicitta mind is typical of the method, which is compassion, loving. These are methods to generate bodhicitta mind, typical paths. Main cause of the conventional bodhicitta is main cause of dharmakaya, truth body. Okay, Conventional bodhicitta is main, conventional bodhicitta is main cause of rupakaya, form body, Buddha's form body. Remember four bodies of the Buddha: nature body, dharmakaya, nature body, right? Ngonyiku means nature body. Ishichoku means wisdom body. Tulku means emanation body. Lungu means complete enjoyment body. So, bodhicitta mind, the conventional bodhicitta mind is main cause of rupakaya, form body. Form body divided into two: tulku, manifesting body; lunku, complete enjoyment body. You understand what I'm saying? Concomitant with the mental factor of aspiration. Conventional bodhicitta mind is concomitant. Do you understand this? Concomitant means is normal, simultaneously. With the mental factor of aspiration. Conventional aspiration, remember. Aspiration. Now, conventional bodhicitta mind is conceptual mind. Conceptual mind. So when we say about conceptual mind, it is dual mind. Conceptual mind, dual mind, right? Non-conceptual mind means free from the dualistic, right? Conceptual mind, so it is conceptual mind, and now focal object, complete enlightenment. Object of engagement, complete enlightenment. Entry way to the Mayana path. We have to understand, okay, conventional bodhicitta is entry way to the Mayana path. So that means first bodhicitta mind is, when we are developing first bodhicitta mind, we become Mayana path of accumulation. So that is, you enter the gateway to the Mayana. So that is conventional bodhicitta mind, not ultimate bodhicitta mind. So that conventional bodhicitta mind must have something like this, okay. Now, ultimate bodhicitta mind is mental consciousness, number one, mental consciousness, and man mind, typical of wisdom paths. Now, remember these two different. Typical of the wisdom paths, ultimate bodhicitta mind. Main cause of Dharmakaya, truth body of Buddha. Main ultimate bodhicitta is main cause of Dharmakaya, truth bodies. Concomitant with the mental factor of wisdom. Wisdom is not omnipresent mental factor, right? It is individual mental factor. Wisdom, not necessarily everybody have wisdom, right? Wisdom should develop through practice or meditation. So that concomitant with the mental factor of wisdom, ultimate bodhicitta mind. So ultimate bodhicitta mind is direct perceiver. So direct perceiver means non-conceptual mind. Conventional bodhicitta mind is conceptual. Ultimate bodhicitta, not necessarily every we talk over here, okay, maybe not we confuse. Even bodhicitta like part of ordinary bodhisattva, right? Two. Part of accumulation and preparation. Part of accumulation, So you need accumulate merit. Now you have enough, then you are prepared to understand the meaning of emptiness. You move to the path of preparation. Prepare. So that means when you achieve path of preparation, you have samadhi as well as vipassana insight. But understanding emptiness through conceptual mind. It is, how can I say like this? It is realize emptiness through inferential valid mind, not direct perceiver. So you should not confuse. They have ultimate mind, but not necessarily direct perceiver. They are in conceptual mind. So here, direct perceiver, right? Do you understand? Direct perceiver means first time ever you see the emptiness directly. Thong lam means you see directly. So first time ever you perceive the emptiness and you have great joy. It's joy. For Bhumi is joy. You never experienced like this before. You know what I mean? So that direct perceiver, now the focal object, complete enlightenment and all phenomena. Previous one is only complete enlightenment, but we should not confuse like this. Focal object is complete enlightenment and all phenomena. And object of engagement is emptiness. Entry way to the Mahayana Arya path. Okay, you should not confuse. So when you first direct perceive emptiness, you became path of seeing. Direct perceive emptiness, so first time ever become Arya path. So it is gateway to enter the Mahayana path. You understand what I'm saying? You got everything? This is the what we call the Bodhicitta. When we say this, we must memorize this from the ornament of clear realization. Okay, Bodhicitta means for the sake of others, wishing to attain complete enlightenment. Bodhicitta, that is the definition of the Bodhicitta mind, clear ornament of clear realization. And then after this, it will come like this, just as in the sutra, the one and the other explained briefly and extensively. These four words go together. Extensively and briefly, right? So that means Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, 8,000, 20,000, 100,000. 8,000, 1 volume. 20,000, 4 volume. Explain Bodhicitta, conventional, ultimate Bodhicitta, briefly. 100,000 Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, 12 volume, will explain conventional Bodhicitta, ultimate Bodhicitta, more extensively, giving more details. So that's how. And then I will repeat again one. Okay. Bodhicitta is special. Why it is special? Because without Bodhicitta, you cannot become enlightenment. There's no way you will be becoming enlightenment. To become enlightenment, you require Bodhicitta. Special, right? And it is mental mind. Mental mind means man mind or primary mind. So primary mind or man mind. So it meant man mind, primary mind oppose sensory mind, eye, ear, nose, tongue. When you are meditating, your mental mind is meditating. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, consciousness, you have to shut down, right? Otherwise, so that's why bodhicitta is mental mind oppose sensory mind. You understand? It goes with two aspirations, like aspirations one self and another. So that's the bodhicitta. You have to understand this one. You have to understand all these qualities, man, mind. So when we say bodhicitta, we have to go deeper. Deeper is like this. Is the conventional bodhicitta mind? Or what is the definition of conventional bodhicitta mind? What is the definition of the ultimate bodhicitta mind? What is the special quality of the conventional bodhicitta mind? What is the special quality of the ultimate bodhicitta mind? So you will go like this: special, focusing object, aspirations. Then you will understand the deeper meaning of the bodhicitta mind. So this is very important. When I say bodhicitta, right, is focusing to all sentient beings, like your all sentient beings. Why you are focusing to your all sentient beings? Because you want something. What do you want? I want enlightenment. So without this, I cannot achieve enlightenment. You understand? So that's what aspirations. Always think about two aspirations for oneself and other. Why am I practicing bodhicitta? Because I want something. What do you want? I want enlightenment. So if you want enlightenment, you have to come through the practice. What you should do, focusing on all sentient beings. So that's why you understand the bodhicitta is associated with the two aspirations. So then, when we say aspirations for other, then you have to think, six goals and is that bodhicitta, exchanging oneself to other, two lineage bodhicitta. These two should be main cause, me to achieve enlightenment. Main cause, me to achieve enlightenment. So then aspirations for other, aspirations for oneself. You understand what I'm saying? That's the bodhicitta mind. You have to focus like this. When we are meditating on bodhicitta, then what is the definition of bodhicitta mind? And then, this is the definition of what bodhicitta mind we associate with two aspirations, oneself and other. Okay, so what is aspiration for other, for myself? This analytical meditation. And then analyze, and then you focus single pointedly. Right? Okay, thank you.
Geshe La, can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
When you were talking about the perfection of wisdom on 8,000 lives and the perfection of wisdom sutra on 20,000 lives, what about the perfection of wisdom sutra in 10,000 lives? Where does that?
Yeah, lots of different perfections.
But is the 10,000 one, is that a kind of brief explanation?
Yeah, like 8,000, 20,000, one single perfection of wisdom, is one single. Is negative, emptiness, one single perfect. When you say means emptiness, because negative, it will negate So you just emptiness. 10,000, 8,000, 100,000, lots of all kinds of things. 100,000, 200,000.